gasoline.
This isn't going to work, is it? Huh? I don't think I can do this video with you in the garage. Okay, so I thought I'd just do a quick review on the BILTWELL Gringo S helmet that I bought just prior to doing our road trip out to Uluru. You might have seen the 3 videos we just released. It was a great trip. We did 8,000 kilometers in 21 days. And prior to the trip, I thought I would buy a full face helmet and wear that just for safety and in bad weather and whatever. I've always worn an open face helmet, this Old Faithful, for many years. I purchased this helmet from the local shop here on the Gold Coast, Iron and Resin. If you're on the Gold Coast, you would have been there before, no doubt, for a coffee. They've got a small shop, but it's got a pretty good range of helmets and bike parts. They are competitive in price. They have reasonable stock with different sizes. I purchased the helmet from them probably 1 week out to our trip. I did ride for about an hour or two testing the helmet just to make sure that it didn't give me a headache or anything like that, and on the test ride it felt fine. I think that people just need to know that if this is your taste in helmet, which it is for me, I thought it was a really cool looking helmet. I like the flames and all that sort of business on it. The other one is the wife's helmet. She loves the colour of it and the style as well. But in my opinion now, after wearing the helmet for 3 weeks straight, long distance, it's not a touring helmet. If you're going to buy this helmet and do long distance travel, I'd rethink it and probably buy a different helmet. The things that I don't like about this helmet for touring, it's a very noisy helmet. It's equally as noisy as my open face helmet as far as wind is concerned. I can't even wear earplugs because when I put the helmet on, it adjusts the earplugs funny and I can't get my hands in to readjust them. Whereas on the open face helmet, I can do that. The actual wind that gets into the helmet through the visor is equally as bad. I think you really need to wear glasses underneath the visor to stop that wind. It's probably fine if you're just riding down to the local cafe or pub or whatever, you're only doing a hour ride. But if you're riding for 5 to 8 hours a day, it's not really the helmet for me anyway. On our trip, when I was wearing this helmet, I found because of the wind that could come in through the visor that I needed to wear sunglasses. However, when I'd wear the sunglasses, after an hour or two, I'd get a headache from the pressure of the arms of the sunglasses in the helmet. So that was another negative. I had to either have no wind in my eyes and get a headache, or have wind in my eyes and have no headache. Unfortunately, this helmet that I bought, I think was probably too small. I did test it before we left for the big ride and thought it was okay, but a few days into the ride, I realized that it was too tight. It was uncomfortable just to stretch on over my head. It was causing a lot of pain. It was so bad that at one point I was going to post this helmet home and just buy a cheap open face helmet to finish the ride. If you check out the videos that we did on our trip, you'll see that I rarely took the helmet off, and that was the reason. It was so painful to take off and put back on, scraping over my big head. I just didn't want to do it, so I'd leave it on most of the time. I think that the Gringo is equivalent to an open face helmet. It's obvious that the safety is much better with the chin being guarded, although the Gringo S comes standard with 19mm cheek guards, and those cheek guards were so compressed on my face that I couldn't even close my mouth properly. I have seen on the website that they sell different size cheek guards. I'm not sure if these pads are available for this newer style helmet though. I can't seem to find them on the internet, but they do have a range of, I think, 5mm up to 25mm or something, and come with the 19. The good thing about the interchangeable cheek pads that you can buy is they're really easy to fit. So if you're a little bit worried about mucking around with the lining of the helmet, don't be. Even a dummy like me can do it. It takes 5 seconds. There's about 4 press studs or something inside this helmet. They just unclip like that, and then the cheek pad comes out, and you can just chuck a new one in, and it takes about the same amount of time to put it back on. When I take the cheek pads out altogether, the helmet falls over my head quite easily. So I think with a smaller cheek pad, I'll be able to find that sweet spot, and the helmet should be a good fit Another point that I didn't like about the full face Gringo S is I read on a lot of Harley forums and motorbike forums over the years, people complaining about where the speedo is on the Tourers. It's right on the tank, and people would complain that they have to look down to see what speed they're doing or how much fuel they have, taking their eyes off the road. And I always thought, that's weird, I've never experienced that, I don't know what they're talking about. And then when I got the Gringo S, I realised that from your chin guard, all that vision is taken away, and they're right, you do have to look down to see what speed you're doing. Whereas on the open face helmet, you don't, you just glance and you can see it all there. There's nothing obstructing your view. The Gringo S also obstructs your view when you're doing your head checks, you know, when you're overtaking or turning your lanes or whatever it may be. Whereas the open face is just that, it has so much better view with less restriction. So a much safer helmet in that regard. Another thing that we did wrong was we bought a coloured visor for the wife's helmet. This visor made it unable for me to see her eyes in comparison to the clear visor. And I didn't realise, because we don't use any Bluetooth intercom or anything like that when we're riding, so much of our communication is just visual. And if I can't see her eyes, I can't see that, you know, what we're trying to communicate with each other. Also, at slower speed, we just talk, we just shout to each other, and we can understand each other fine when I'm wearing the open face helmet. When I'm wearing this helmet, obviously the voice is so much more muffled. With the wife's helmet, her earplugs, and my full face helmet, we can't hear each other, so we're just screaming at each other all day long. I don't know how an intercom would work with these helmets. I've had no experience with them at all. I think for the next trip up, it'll be back to the open face, balaclava in cold weather, or face mask, and back to what I know. I still believe that the BILTWELL Gringo S helmet is a great helmet for the price that you pay. Other helmets can cost, I know, up to $1,000 or more perhaps. Will I wear it again? Probably not. I don't know, maybe on another long distance ride, if I get the cheek pad fit right, I will. But I think I'll just go back to my open face helmet and ride with that all the time. In summary, I think the BILTWELL Gringo S helmets are a really nice looking helmet. They're great value for money. They got a nice range, but they're just not suited to long distance touring and high speed riding. There's other helmets you'd probably pick first. If you're keen for one of these helmets and you live locally on the Gold Coast, get down to Iron Resin Garage at Currumbin on Stewart Road, and they got a really good range of colours and sizes, so you can try them on and grab one.
We hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, please subscribe and give us a big thumbs up. We'll catch you next time on East Coast Trippers.